Hello everyone and welcome. I'm introducing the Bunch of Balloons Stamp, Dies, and Stencil set. If you have any birthdays coming up, this is going to be a great bundle to have in your stash. You can use each of these individually or all together, which they work perfectly all together. So we have the sentiment set or the stamp set. The stencil set, you actually are getting quite a few stencils in this pack, and there's going to be 3 different designs that you'll be able to create. And then the coordinating dies, which have our coordinating dies for the sentiments, and then also some little extra balloons that you can add to your card projects. Now, first we'll take a look at the stamp set. So we have a lot of really fun sentiments on here. We have High Five in that bold style font. It's Your Birthday, Hooray, Cheers to You, Let's Celebrate, and Yay! There's also some additional images on here like little confetti bits, a star, and then there's 2 different size balloons, a string for your balloon, and a bow. Now, what I really love about this is there are coordinating dies for those larger sentiments, so you can die cut those out and add to your cards. And then we also have a variety of balloons. You have a large, medium, and then 3 small balloons that you can die cut out and add if you don't want to have any stamped lines or you don't want a stencil and you just want to use up that really pretty cardstock that Concord and Ninth has. So here on the die set, you can see there is a small grouping of stars. So I die cut those out of gold glitter cardstock. And then there's an individual star that's a little bigger that I was able to die cut out the actual stamped star. For the stencil pack, you're getting 3 different designs in the stencil pack. Now this particular one, this first one is going to create this nice kind of wreath of balloons. There are some registration marks that will help you line up your cardstock. Doesn't matter which one you do first, they're going to slightly overlap each other and create that really fun wreath. So I did ink blend this panel up, and of course I used rainbow colors because balloons just look amazing in rainbow colors, and I love how they overlap because they kind of give you that translucent look. The second design is kind of all on its own. It has these 2 balloons, so you can layer the stripe over the solid image of the balloon. I apologize, I forgot to ink blend that one up. But then we have these letters on here that you can ink blend onto your card front and create the ink blended sentiment. And I'll show you how to do that. The third design in the pack is going to give you an entire card front of balloons. This one, it doesn't matter which order you do them in, but they do overlap slightly, which again, I think is super fun, and it's going to create just this really fun festive design. And it doesn't necessarily have to be birthday. Maybe you have graduation coming up or retirement or anniversary. This is a really good, any of the balloons are really good throughout multiple occasions. Here I'm going to show you how to do the hooray. So I have a piece of white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 and by 5 1/2 that I placed in my Misty stamping tool on top of a sticky mat. Now I apologize, I'm still kind of tweaking my lighting since I moved my craft space, so my stencil kind of gets a little overexposed. Once I ink blend the letters on, you'll be able to see it better. But I'm taking the H on the stencil and I moved it to the far left-hand side. I'm taking Post-it tape, or you can use Post-it notes, and I'm masking off some areas around it so I don't get any ink where I don't want it. Now, I started out with watermelon ink. I absolutely love this brand new color. It's such a beautiful, vibrant color, and I'm going to ink blend that on with a mini ink blending brush. I'll peel up the stencil, so there is my H, and then I'm going to move on to the letter O. Now, there's actually 2 O's on here. So you can go through and create this whole sentiment without having to clean your stencil right away. You don't have to have it overlap, but you can if you want. It is kind of designed that way, and I think it's a really fun kind of playful touch to the design. Now again, I'm masking off the areas so I don't get any ink on the rest of my cardstock, and I'm going to ink blend this one in rainbow order. I am using Creamsicle. Now, typically, if I'm going to be masking off areas with my Post-it tape, I only reuse it about twice, because if I am putting Post-it tape on top of the stencil to mask off other areas, a lot of times my Post-it tape is picking up ink And then if I use it again, it's transferring the ink onto my card front. So you just want to be careful of that so that if you want to use this entire card front as your card, you don't want to risk getting any ink on there. That second O that I did was ink blended with a buttercup ink. And then I shifted this down. So I'm using the R and I moved over to right under the H. I actually should have shifted this over a little bit further because I didn't have enough room for the exclamation point. So just be mindful of that. Now this one I am ink blending with Sprout, but I think I have a little bit of a grasshopper on my blending brush. It's still a beautiful green that's going to help complete my rainbow. Again, I shifted my stencil. I'm using the A and I'm going to ink blend that with Aqua Sky. Again, it's slightly overlapping. And then I have my Y. Now this one I didn't have overlap. I tucked it in pretty close to the letter, but I didn't have it overlap too much. And for my last color of the rainbow, I am using Fig. Now when I'm done ink blending, I will take my stencil and I'm going to clean it with some rubbing alcohol and a rag, and the ink is going to wipe right off. I do take like a stamp chamois or a wet towel and I wipe down my sticky mat once my cardstock is removed, which I just kind of bend that in half and the cardstock pops right off. And this card front is pretty much ready to go. If you like clean and simple one-layer cards, you could maybe just stamp an extra sentiment there and send it off in the mail. So this is a card I created using that balloon stencil that covers the entire panel, and I used some of the brand new colors. I also added in the outline to the balloons. Now, I didn't mean to line it up so perfect. It seems like when I want to mess up or I want to offset it, I can't seem to do that. They lined up pretty perfect. But here on this other card that I did, you can give it a little offset to show some of the white of the cardstock, and that adds a very whimsical and playful look to your balloons. For both of the cards that I created, I used the Altogether alphabet, both the uppercase and lowercase. I think it's also really fun to have that mix of upper and lowercase on the card front, which those letters fit perfectly inside the balloons. And that's a closer look at a bunch of balloons, stamp, die, and stencil set. You can find more inspiration using this bundle over at the Concord & Ninth website. Thanks for watching.